different people.
It is.
Like 3 different people. So is there a message in that almost that you've got this talent on different?
You know, I hadn't thought about it that way. That's a good point. So the Mandrake Award, we've had 3 different people win it. We've kept it on our side of the ball, which bragging rights. And I walk around the office. I told coach, I said, man, I'm gonna need me a Mandrake shirt just so I can walk around and let the offensive guys look at it. But you know, it was really close this week. It really, if you watching back the tape, and I flipped through the offense just for fun to see our kids play hard. Donovan West played his tail off. So I mean, Evan was really good on Saturday. I'm proud of him. You said it. We've had 3 different guys at 3 different levels win that award. I mean, it was Kalen, it was DJ, it was Evan. So those guys are shoot. If you can get somebody from a different position to have a great game every week, I mean that's going to just help us all around. Now we need all those guys to play at that same level. And there were a couple guys that were in contention for it. Not always do flashy stats win the award. I mean, 13 tackles, that's pretty good. That's what I expect from that position. So I mean, I was excited for him, but we're 3-0 on the Mandrake Award on our side of the ball too, so that's good.
Is Evan one of the more improved guys since you started working with him among the main players?
I would say yes, on our side of the ball, Evan Fields is the most improved player at this point. Now DJ is playing really well. I thought DJ played really well last year, so he's just a good football player. Evan is a good football player. His athleticism is unreal, and the steps that he's evolved. One, he lost probably about 8 pounds from last year, which he probably needed to. I thought he was okay at 206, but he's a little bit better at 198. And the work that he's put in the film room to put himself in the best chance to be successful has been what's been the most noticeable. He's fearless. He plays and runs like you want him to. I mean, he'll run into a brick wall. He'll run into a tree if you tell him to. That's the good thing is he believes in what we're doing, and he's fitting up. He had one bad play on Saturday in a cover 2 where he's running down, and we talk about it all the time, we don't put rules on those guys. They just got to make the right choice. And at that point, he made the wrong one, and it popped, and that was one of their longer runs for 16. So other than that, he was pretty good. I think a lot of people noticed, I mean, the big plays stand out. The 4th and 1, he made a heck of a stop on the running back. But the play before that was a 3rd and 14. We're not very good. Ashari, the guy runs a comeback wheel. Ashari thinks he's going to run down the sideline. Evans, the free safety in the middle of the field. Ashari opened up to go cover the deep route, and Cody White comes back on the wheel comeback. Evan Fields the one that makes that tackle from the middle of the field. And not only make the tackle, he caused a fumble. Now the guy was out of bounds, but that's 3rd and 1. I mean, they get 13 yards on a 3rd and 14, and now we have the opportunity to line up 4th and 1. And at that point, their kicker was struggling. So I thought that play, I mean, that was one of the biggest plays in the game. It stopped the drive, the 4th and 1, but the 3rd and 14 on tape, that's more important because we don't even get to that spot if Evan ain't flying around. So by far, he is the most improved player overall on defense, and he's playing at a really high level. And that's a really good spot to have a guy playing at a high level. I mean, what makes us better. I thought Jalen did a really nice job. If Jalen would have played last year, Jalen Harvey would have played at that level early on, there's probably 2 more games we can win in there. Evan is playing at that high level, and he was a big reason that we were able to keep him out of the end zone. Now, we gave up here. I'll go on my rant. 404 yards, okay? And I've been, I mean, the newspapers and stuff. Michelle, I appreciate your grade B. You know you're a tough grade. That's good. B, you're nicer than me. We gave up 6 plays that totaled 188 yards, okay? We played 80. So the 74, we gave up 216. Of those 6 plays, in 3 of them, we gave up 123. Okay, we give up a 48-yard slant in man coverage where the defensive back is staring at the quarterback. We give up a 39-yard because we're playing so far off in cover 2, and then we miss 2 tackles. And then we give up a 36-yard play in a corner blitz where it's the first tackle that Chase Lucas has missed all year. And I'm not mad at him because he tried to run up there and do it the way we want him to. He dove, he tried to wrap, he didn't try and tackle with his back, he just missed. And that's going to happen sometimes. Our pursuit was average on that play because a couple guys thought he was going to get him on the ground. So those 6 plays are, I mean, that's all I could think about on the plane ride home, because that's the difference between us being really good on defense. A lot of people talk, you hear between the 20s they move the ball. Yes and no. Were we trying to play bend but don't break? No. We gave up 6 plays that freaking ruined the day, in my opinion. Now, we won. And like I say all the time, players win games. They won that game. They made enough plays, and they won the game. Now, we need to make a couple corrections on the defense being on special teams. And that I'm going to take the blame. Don't blame Coach Slocum. Attention to detail. The fake punt against Kent State, we were lackadaisical because we thought that just because we kept our defense out there, they ain't going to fake it. They faked it on the defense. So that's a 4th down conversion on us. And then Saturday, the extra point, the field goal, I think you can tell a lot by how hard a team plays and the pride they play with on defense and how they try and block field goals. And it's not so much the field goals, but the extra points. If you watch a football team that's really detailed on extra points, they are trying their hardest to block it, because that 1 point is huge in a game. If they block our extra point when we score the touchdown on Saturday, they're going to drive down there and have a chance to kick the winning field goal. And the opportunity at the end of the game, we need to coach them better. Now, the Pac-12 made their announcement about how we got away with the penalty, and we did. I can understand why the referee missed it. Cam Phillip walks up to the line of scrimmage, he doesn't get set, and then he tries to explode over the pile. If you're standing on the line of scrimmage, it doesn't matter how you do that. You can't come up to the line of scrimmage. And the young man thought, and that's our fault as coaches, you can't let him think. He thought he was up on the line of scrimmage, he could do it. He was trying to win the game. So we'll coach him better on that. We talk about it all the time. If you intercept the ball, which we've got one, I tell them they're making me look like a fool, okay? We need to get our dang hands on some ball. There's some 3rd and longs that we should have intercepted that we're not playing with the confidence to break downhill. And so I lost my temper at him at practice today because we had a couple balls caught that I thought should have been intercepted. Now, we did intercept a couple in practice, but I told him, man, y'all, I said again, you're making me look like a fool. I put this number out there, and we got 1 in 3 games. We got to get our hands, because those are the things that change games. Those are the things that you go from a good defensive game to a dominant defensive game, because we give the offense an opportunity. We only gave them the ball 1 time on Saturday. Now, Shar does a great job with the strip, but we only gave it to him 1 time. We need to create more turnovers. We still got the ball out. That was good. We're leading the nation in forced fumbles. We were able to recover that one. The ball bounced to him. That was good. But we need to continue on that path to be dominant. We're not going to be a bend but don't break around here. We've been fortunate. We've made some plays in the red zone, and then they missed a couple field goals on Saturday, and those were huge. Now you can't count on somebody missing field goals to be good on defense, but they didn't put it in the end zone, and that was the good part. So we need to be more dominant as we don't give up the big plays.
When you talk about the big plays given up, looks like some of those big plays were to the Michigan State tight ends. Did you see that game as a one-off in that department, or maybe you've seen stuff against, say, the Sacramento State that might be a concern moving forward?
No, I thought we played bad technique. And I'm gonna put that on the coaching too. And I coach those 2 guys that play the safety spot. When we cover tight end, we've got a certain technique that the attention to detail has not been precise on it. So that was when I said I lost my cool today. That was the point of emphasis out there. We talk about it in meetings. We walk through it. We've got to do it when we're doing the team stuff. And there was a couple times, and I'm talking being detailed on a matter of 6 inches of where your alignment is. The 6 inches is not only does it change your alignment, it changes your mental focus. It changes the way you're attacking stuff. Whether we want to play outside, whether we want to play inside, whether we want to play at 6, whether we want to play at 3, all those things. On the 48-yard bubble slant, those 2 guys are supposed to be lined up on different levels, and then they have keys that they read. One of them did, one of them didn't, and it becomes a big play. Shar does a great job of getting them on the ground, and our big emphasis always is that's why we have those suckers run to the ball so that they get it on the ground. We have a chance to play defense again. We'll have a chance to keep them out of the end zone. We were able to keep them out of the end zone, but our technique and our details, that's where we need to continue to focus on. And the 3 that I coached, the 2 safeties and the Tillman, the Tillman, maybe I'm spending too much time with Evan because he's playing his freaking tail off, and the other 2 are not playing up to my expectation. Cam Phillips has probably been, if you look at all those charts and stuff, he's been our most productive player, play for play. I think I told him this. I think you're playing okay. I think those two guys can be really, really good. But it's the attention to detail. It's what they're doing between reps, what they're getting themselves lined up that we need to continue to hone in on. Now, we're playing with a bunch of kids that this is their second year of football. And I expect them to act like juniors and seniors and their freshmen and sophomores. So I refuse to allow them to. That's just an excuse, but it's a learning process for them. So, I mean, it's tough love. I get frustrated at them, and they get frustrated. Now they don't bark back, which is good, but they're starting to understand. And if we can fix those things, their tight ends were pretty good. No way should a tight end get a 39-yard on a slant route. Are you kidding me? That can't happen. Ain't no way. And so they hear that when things are going bad, that's the phrase they hear. Ain't no way. And we heard that a couple times on Saturday. The good thing is on the sideline, they're able to bring the information over and dissect it. Now, Ishari, he missed about 13 minutes of the game. He got hit in the side of the leg and got dinged up, and then he started cramping from it. That was not a hydration deal. I mean, we've done so much, and he was the only one that Kalen is we got a couple guys that are pretty beat up right now. They're in shape. They get they get nicked up a little bit. Ishari just got hit right in the side of the leg, and then he started cramping a little bit. So they were trying to rub it out, trying to get it. And every time he would start to do something, it would give out. So they're doing a great job. Our trainers did a great job. They took him into the training room to rub him down and try and fix it to get it so we could go. So now we've got two true freshmen out there that I'm trying to rotate that are playing for the first time in front of 75,000 people, and it was a little big. And the good thing was both of them were over the sideline like, no, I'm fine. And I'm looking at them going, you ain't fine. We give up a 39-yard route on a touchdown, there's something wrong. I mean, on a tight end, there's something wrong with that. So then they look at me and they're like, okay. And so we did a couple different things to try and help them out. But when you get into key moments of the game, you got to have your best players in the game. And so whether it's Ishari fighting through something hurting or whatever it is, and he was really trying to get back in there. So the good thing is the last series he was in and made a couple plays. So I mean they're growing up before our eyes, but I expect them to be grown up, and so that's where we're at.
Did you feel? I mean, you mentioned last week about seeing the working, and they were going to make some adjustments, but the later it got and keeping out of the end zone in this field goals, because I mean, some of it looked like he was getting a little frustrated on some of the throws, like he was.
He was. They were. So we gave him a few different looks that we had shown. We hadn't shown some stuff in the first two games that we knew they wouldn't prepare for, because it wasn't stuff that we showed last year. I mean, here's the really neat thing about our scheme. Okay. So the defenses that we played last year, conceptually, we've got a lot of the same stuff. But what we're doing out there right now looks completely different on tape than what we were doing last year. So all those people that have a feel for it, well, now they're having to re-dissect it. And if you go through and you find your best 22 players and you kind of design it around them, then you have a chance to do some stuff and be really good. So we were able to do some stuff Saturday because we were able to play some defenses in the first few games where our players were a little bit better than theirs, so they wouldn't give up big plays. We could keep them from getting a lot of yards and keep them from scoring. And then we could do some more stuff to be aggressive. Our big deal was they're a little bit bigger than us up front, so we're going to have to be aggressive. We're going to have to play in the backfield and make the running back cut before he can get going. And we knew if they couldn't run the ball, consistently run the ball, that it would change their passing game. Because all that stuff, the spread option stuff, all that, if you can get the running back going, it's like a triple option. If that fullback gets going, man, everything's working. And then coverage stuff, we did some different things in coverage disguise-wise, that we had some guys sitting on routes where he was trying to throw a quick game and he couldn't throw it because there's a safety sitting there and then there's somebody coming over the top. Stuff that we hadn't shown in the first two games. So as the game got along, then we started to bring our pressures toward the end until my gaff in the last 2-minute drill. But it was trying, he was getting out and then we hit him a couple times so the ball was coming out quick. And then we were doing some different stuff. We were trying to confuse their linemen. We did a couple times. We got a couple free shots on the quarterback. And then go to the 2-minute situation. Here's the coaching on the sideline. There's 50 seconds left in the game. Get them tackled twice in bounds and the game is over without getting a first down. We got our 4 best pass rushers out there. The very first play, we get to him so fast, he steps up in the pocket and he scrambles for 11. I mean, we had two guys that they didn't even touch him. And we need to continue to work our games so that DJ did a pretty nice job. He was trying to stay there in the center, and Lewerke kind of got by him. If DJ gets a hold of him, there's 30 seconds right there because those dudes were down the field. They got to run back. I mean, then the clock's running. So we've got to make that tackle. Second play, we do a similar stunt. We rush 4. We don't get much pressure, but the coverage was really good, and we get forced incomplete. The third play, we show 5. We rush 3. The coverage was excellent. He had nowhere to go, and he throws a ball that we almost intercept. I thought the game was going to be over. We had 3 guys that have an opportunity of it. The next play is where I screwed up. We should have either sent the house and take a chance of them scoring a touchdown and winning, but the ball's going to be out of his hand quick, so it's going to be out some quick route, or drop 8. And I didn't do either. We played coverage. We rushed 4. We're playing cover 2. We misread the quarterback, and they hit us on a dig route. That dig route takes a long time to develop. If we're sending pressure, that don't ever happen. We hit him before he even gets it off. The chances you take is who's out there, who's playing coverage. Are you going to put those guys in position to get beat, and all of a sudden now you lose? Okay? The good guys were back, so I probably should have blitzed them. We don't. They get the ball down to the 25, and we get fortunate. They get a penalty. We don't get a penalty. That's the way the game goes. Now, that game wasn't decided because Cam Phillips jumped over and that guy missed. There's 7 or 8 plays within that game that are really the difference in the game. My personal opinion, the 3rd and 14 stop that Evan Fields made. If he don't make that play, they might continue that drive and score. If we don't stop them on 4th and 1, they might continue that drive and score. So, I mean, there's 7 or 8 opportunities that you have in a football game that are the difference. It don't come down to a kick. Now, a kick puts points on the boards, and those are the ones that are glaring. But, I mean, same for that poor kid. He had a bad day. He was perfect coming into the game. He had a bad day. And people are going to have those. I mean, we've been so fortunate. Christian Zendejas going 8 for 8 on a kid that you never know when you're going to get your opportunity. And then and that's the great thing about our program. We treat them all the same. Walk on, scholarship, it don't matter. If you prove that you can play and you get in the game and you play and you perform, you're going to be put on scholarship. Christian Zendejas was put on scholarship today. So congratulations to him. And I'm really thankful that Coach Edwards put him on scholarship because he deserved it.
Your injured guys.
About what I talked about at the beginning of the year. You should feel like complete just awful right now. If we're playing the style of defense and the tempo and the physicalness that we want, we should have so many guys beat up and banged up, and that's about where we're at. I mean, Kalen, Darian, our linebackers are all pretty dinged up, and you can manage that stuff through practice. We can practice with the correct tempo, that they're still getting the right fits, but they're able to play at top speed on Saturday, and then they're going to feel awful on Sunday, and it starts all over. And if you're a really good football player, that's just kind of what you get used to. So you get used to those nicks and bruises. We haven't had anything major. Tyler Johnson played more than he probably should have on Saturday, and so now we're going to have to get him to Saturday again. Thank God we have 2 bye weeks this year because we're playing at a pretty high level on defense, playing at a physical level, I mean. So we can get those guys. We'll get 2 opportunities to get those guys rested as well as prepare for the opponents that we have, which are pretty good opponents after both those bye weeks. So we don't have anybody that can't play, but they all should feel like complete just awful. And it makes me smile when they feel that way, as bad as that sounds, because that means we're playing at a really high level of football and the physicalness. I mean, we talk about it. I want those dudes flying to the ball. I want them hitting the pile. I want them jumping on the pile. I mean, if that running back is on the pile and we get 3 or 4 guys and then somebody comes and kamikazes and knocks it again, they get tired of that stuff by the 4th quarter, and that's when the balls start coming out. That's when they start laying the ball on the ground. We're getting close. I mean, we point that stuff out when we're watching on tape. I mean, it's amongst them now. When somebody's not getting to the ball, they're getting on each other. And for the first 18 months, it was me complaining about it to them. Well, now they're starting to get after each other. And when that starts, all of a sudden it becomes peer pressure. They don't want to be the one that's made fun of. Ask Chase about his the back tackling comments. It drove the young man crazy. He so much so that he came up to me and he goes, Coach, you know what? Because I'd given him a compliment in our last team meeting, not the one before Michigan State because he missed the one, but the previous game because he had 7 tackles. I go, I'm really proud of this young man because everything we did in the offseason and everything we've done, they've made a great focus to do things better. And he comes up and he goes, Coach, I'm so glad you don't call me that back tackler anymore. He goes, that was embarrassing. I said, something behind that, you know? I mean, peer pressure. I mean, there's a way to do things and a way not. Evan Fields. Carp asked me about, is he the most improved? You should see his tackling. That young man, I'm going to be honest with you, we had conversations over and over about, Evan, you're going to hurt yourself. You cannot put your head down. He's not afraid, but he comes in there like a bullet. 1, it's against the rules, and 2, you're going to kill yourself. You're going to break your neck. And I refuse to see you in the hospital because you don't do things right. And he worked and worked and worked, and now he's one of our better tacklers. And that 4th and 1 play, he went down low. The running back outweighs him by probably about 30 pounds. He goes down low with his face up. He wraps him up right above the thighs. And then we have 2 guys, bam, right from the side. And instead of them converting a 4th and 1, we got Ashari running around celebrating. I'm like, look, young man, that's why you're tired, man. Chill out. Come to the sideline. Let's celebrate together. All those little things. We get so amped up, and it's exciting because you want him to play on edge. I want him to be so dang violent, right on the berm, on the edge, that when they're coming to the sideline, if that dude is even close to the sideline, bam, knock him out. But be smart enough, if he steps out, you got to be able to let up. But I want him on the verge of just being just violently, just ill intent. And when they get that way, and that's how they're starting to develop, now they have to get the emotions of the other part of the game. When we do something good, just point that way and act like that was what we were supposed to do. Don't celebrate until the game's over. When they celebrated that missed field goal, that's when you can celebrate. And then calm back down and act like you've been there before. The good thing about our locker room at halftime, they weren't surprised. And you never know what you're going to get when you got a bunch of really young kids. I've been in locker rooms where nobody in the world thinks they can win except for the people in that locker room. And then you go in the locker room at halftime and you're winning or it's close, and they're celebrating, you're in trouble, boy, because they're happy to be in the game. When that's the case, you got no shot. Because soon enough, that avalanche is going to come, and you can't stop it. Well, that wasn't the case on Saturday. We went in the locker room, and we're trying to do some adjustments because we knew what they had done and how they're doing, and they were intent, and they were just like drinking water, and it was fun. I mean, they were chomping at the bit to get back out there. When you got that, you got a chance. That mean you're going to win, but you got a chance. And they kept going.
There's one more. Just to make sure I can't folks, if he had
I'll
been
get you.
standing there and tried to leap.
Yes. Just like they did earlier, the guy that everybody was saying that their guy was at the line of scrimmage and he jumped over the legs of our wing tackle. That's not a problem. What you can't do is you can't take a running start and leap over and try and block it. You can't use somebody to propel yourself up. He did both. He stepped up. Now the referee's vision is right here, and he's staring at those guys at the line of scrimmage to see if somebody's coming. Cam walks up, and he wasn't there for a full second set. But I can see how that guy comes out of his vision. But then Cam tried to use those guys to excel, and that is a penalty. We got lucky. And you know what? There's 100 penalties in a game that we get lucky people don't call. If you watch, I wish they just make holding legal. I really don't have a problem with it. Unless they tackle the guy, they shouldn't call it. Because there's holding on every single play. Every single play, a referee could go, ooh, flag, and then you change the complexity of the game. Make it legal. Who cares? They hold us anyway. Just don't let them tackle them. And if they don't tackle them, then good. And guess what? It'll be a more violent game, and it'll be more fun. But they can change the game at any time because they throw a penalty. And so there's a bunch of missed calls. I mean, coach said it yesterday. They're always on the road. They never get a home game. So I made the mistake last year after the Stanford game. I let my emotion and passion. And I talked about that game, and they got me for it. I get it, okay? It's not their fault. They're trying. I think every once in a while there might be one of them that doesn't do it right, but that ain't the case. That's 99% of the time. 99.9% of the time, they're trying their best. It's just like when we get mad at our players. When they get beat and I get frustrated and I'm like, what are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. Ain't never one of them gonna look at me in the eye and say, Coach, I'm trying to get beat. I mean, I know they're not trying to get beat, but it's the fine details. And the referees ain't no different. So, go ahead.
I was going to say, because Vern said yesterday, we're talking about, there's nothing wrong with defensive football. Wanted it to look ugly in the first half because that means you're in it. dare I say, like, becoming a defensive school in this day and age with not scoring? Because I'm sure you'd be excited to win game 7-3 all the time. That's fine. I mean, is that like, especially maybe in recruiting, I guess, yeah, through like getting guys here that actually want to play defense and don't have to score 50 points for it to be a great game.
Correct. I think you said it perfectly. Winning game 7-3 is fine. It's not fun. By no means is it fun. Okay? If we screw up one time, we lose. That's kind of the world we live in right now. I got no problem living with that world, but it ain't fun. Football games, here it is. It goes back to the old adage. I hate losing more than I enjoy winning. That's why I like spring ball so much, because you get to go play football and it's great and it don't matter what happens. There's no pressure. When you get into games where we're at right now, there's a lot of pressure and you get to see which ones like it and which ones don't. We got a lot of kids that really like it right now. Guess what? If we give up a big play and we lose 10-7 or we lose 7-3 on Saturday, ain't none of those kids like it. And then all of a sudden they start thinking, oh, it's on me. So it ain't fun. Now, I'm okay with it because those guys, Jaden and those guys, they're going to get better and better every week. And we should get better and better every week. I want to score 50 points. I tell Rob every day, hey, we getting 50 this week? And last year, a couple times, we got 49 against UTSA in the opening night. I was telling them all week 50, we thought we were playing the best defense. Now, the year before, UTSA finished 5th in the country in total defense. We went out there, ran the ball all over them, and executed and played good. We're figuring out, like I said, I want Donovan West. That dude played so free. That dude is going to be so good as he continues game after game after game. Ladarius Henderson, he's going to be really good too. Guess what? That was a true freshman's first start at left tackle against a dude that one time he's lined up and Wilkinson, that dude's 48, great football player. Wish he was on our team. I love watching him play. Poor Ladarius. That dude snapped the ball and Ladarius went. And it was, he come over to the sideline and I go, he's fast, huh? He's like, Coach, I said, told you. The offensive guys did a great job of helping him out the rest of the game. And then guess what? The next time he kicked step, he knew, took the right angle and he blocked him. On that play to Ayuk, that is a thing of beauty. Those guys have great protection. Eno chips the guy. Ladarius blocks him. Eno chips him. Ethan Long does a great job chipping off his edge. And then Jaden throws a perfect ball, and there's Ayuk. Ayuk did a great job at the line of scrimmage, beats him off. Those guys couldn't cover those two guys on the outside. They were just getting pressure early. As the game went on and when the moment got big, those guys got better. And they're only going to continue to get better and better and better. They're 17, 18 years old. It's the same thing we had last year. The ones we're playing with last year that were true freshmen, they're just barely starting to figure it out. They played 18 games. So there's a lot of pressure on those guys. And I think our coach is doing a great job of giving them a chance, because you tell a team that hasn't moved the ball very much to go 75 yards in 3 minutes, and you heard coach say it. Jaden was like, I'm good, we got it, we're good. There was no point, which was really cool when you have a chance to be pretty good. The sideline was pretty calm. And I think you got to give all that credit to Coach Edwards. Coach Edwards he's always the same. He keeps them relaxed. He has, it's a very coachable environment, because there's a lot of times that things get very hostile, and when things get erratic and there's a lot of yelling and there's a lot of confusion going on, you can't get any adjustments done. And we don't have any of that on our sideline. And you got to give the head man credit for that, because that's the kind of culture in the program that we're running on game day. It's what they see him do, so nobody overreacts. So they were able to get those adjustments done. They did a great job of moving the ball down with 4th and 13, and Jaden makes a big-time play. If I'm sitting up here trying to have an answer that question about 4th and 13, I'm doing more than apologizing to a whole bunch of people. He made a play, and good for him. It kept the game going, and then they put it in the end zone, and then we almost messed it up, but we made just enough to get, I'm telling you, 2 tackles in bounds, the game's over. So that was a good learning experience for everybody, myself, players, everybody. So we've got to keep it going, and we got to a point last year, all of a sudden they thought they were pretty dang good. Well, guess what? They heard it all today. We ain't yet. We've done a good job keeping it out of the end zone, giving up 21 points in 3 games. Yeah, applauded them. Great job. Congratulations. Guess what? We gave up 404 yards. We are not a bend but don't break defense. We gave up 6 plays that gave 188 yards. That's embarrassing. That's terrible defense. That's terrible defense. So if you think you're really good, guess what? Watch the tape. Because all you did is invited every tight end in America to run a slant route on you. All we've done is invited all those. Yeah, I mean, we've invited different formations where they see success. It's just like the very first game of the year, we invited everybody to do the wheel route. Well, guess what? They sent their back on a wheel route, and Roe Wilkins covered him like a friggin' hawk. So now we'll slow some of that stuff down. Now they'll find, now because we're over pursuing it, they're going to run an angle route, and then we're going to be mad about that. But those are the things that we got to correct, and so now we've just invited some stuff that they can be successful with. So now we got to work on it and be detailed. That's when we got a chance to be good. That's when we'll be a great defense. We're playing okay. We're keeping them out of the end zone. That's the positive. We're 3-0. The players have won games. It ain't coach. It ain't because of coach. It ain't the calls. It's them. And if we continue it, we'll have a chance to win the next 9. If we don't, if they start getting arrogant, they're going to get their tails whooped. Nah, we're going to get our tails whooped. So we got to keep them from getting arrogant. And so don't write nice things about them in the paper.
I promise
Okay?
I'll see you next week.
Thank you. Yes. Yes.